So this is round 2 of my video, because round 1 ended up being 18 minutes long, and I'm pretty sure I can't upload that to YouTube. So, imagine, if you will, a nice, kind Jacob who's driving home from working the ropes course at an LDS Young Women's Camp. It's about 9 o'clock, 8:50-ish maybe. So the sun's just set, still a bit of twilight in the air. He's like, I have something I can drop off at this friend's house that's on the way back. And it's down this big 2-lane divided highway. Sort of like, for those of you out west who are going to be doing this, sort of like I-15, right? 2 lanes, shoulders, right? Median, 2 more lanes, 2 big shoulders, right? The whole thing is a long time, and the median's like 40 feet across. It's a big median, so you're nowhere near the other cars. And I know that there's this turn across the median, but I can never remember where it is. So I've got my brights on, because first off, it's not dark yet, but they really helps with seeing the street signs, especially considering the street signs are across the median and across the other 2 lanes of the highway. I'm just, tooling along. Speed limit 65. I'm probably going 60. And I missed the first turn into this friend's neighborhood. There's 2 turns. I know where the second one is, but this first one I always miss it, so I'm looking for it really closely. So I'm going, and I come to the second turn. I take the second turn. I'm like, I'm just going to drive down. I'm going to see where the first turn comes out. Because maybe if I go out it and I look around, I'll get kind of that spatial awareness thing going on. Yeah. So I miss the turnoff into the neighborhood. I just keep going straight, and pretty much right after I pass that turnoff, and I don't take it, blue lights in the rearview mirror, and then spotlight too. One of those old cars that has the spotlight thingy going on. Yeah, pull over. And I go to get my license and insurance card. Well, I got hit Monday, so we traded insurance information. I didn't have extra stuff to write around, so I actually just gave the guy my insurance card, because Progressive gives you 2, and I only needed 1, so it's like, hey, what do you do? So I was pretty sure I came back Monday. I tore off the second one. As you can see, there are 2 holes here, and I thought I put it in my car, but I couldn't find it. And the cop's walking up to my window very slowly. He's a very big cop. And by very big, I mean about my height and twice my weight-ish. Maybe a little less. But I would have no fear of. If I needed to run away, I would run away and I would be fine. So I can't find my insurance card. I'm going through my stack of cards in my the little center console. Can't find it. It's like, junk. So he gets to the like, I'm sorry, I'm looking for my insurance card. Give me a second. So I'm looking, and I finally find it, and it's wedged. There's a little drawer thingy that comes out. It's wedged in there somehow, so I'm trying to pull it out. It won't come out. Like, I push the thing in, I push it out. I don't know what it's caught on, because it just isn't coming out. And finally, I force it out. It's all bent. And to the cop, here's my insurance. Give me a second. Find my license. I've been on a ropes course all day. I don't have anything in my pockets. And so my license it's not in the door. That's normally where I put it. So I'm going through the stuff on the other seat, get out my wallet, pull out my cards, or pull out my license, hand it to him. I'm chatting a little with him as I'm finding this. It's like, so, how much you had to drink today? Nothing, officer. Oh, what about other things? Any marijuana? Any other things you've been having? Well, this is, Jacob's internal monologue. If I've really had any marijuana, am I likely to tell you I've had some? I don't know how they do things in Alabama, but in Idaho we're smarter than that. And it's great, because while I was at the ropes course, the camp there was from Georgia, the Powder Springs, Georgia state, and we were talking about, these backwoodsy meth labs and marijuana farms, and the different ways that people use it. And we were doing it pretty much in jest, like that's really a problem in the country. I mean, it is, but, it's not anything we're really worried about. The cop's like, well, why I pulled you over? Said, Actually, I was really wondering that. He says, well, your tag light's out. Back on your tag. I said, oh, that is problematic. He says, but that's not why I pulled you over. So, we were driving southbound as you were coming up north. And you didn't dim your brights when you passed us. I didn't dim my brights? No, you didn't. On the divided highway. No, sir. You have to dim your brights on a divided highway? Like, yep. I said, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. Like, I didn't, internal monologue. That seems really ridiculous. Like, I have an old, crummy car. My brights don't even look like brights when you're standing in front of it, much less when you're on the other side, so... Said, yeah, sorry, I didn't realize that was something we were supposed to do on divided highway. I mean, I know on normal one if you're coming behind somebody, so, sorry. It's like, well, just wait here, and goes back to the cop car, and processes everything, and I get out my pen, and I start writing some notes for something else entirely. And I should also mention, I've got my cell phone out, and it's sitting next to me, and then I have in my left hand my wallet, because I was holding it so that when the guy came back with my license, I could put the license in. So I'm writing, got my wallet, got my phone on my lap. He comes back to the window, so I get holding my pencil. He's like, so, sure you haven't had anything to drink? I said, yep. Sure you haven't had anything else? Like, yeah. Like, do you have anything illegal in your car? No. Are you sure? Yeah. Would I find anything if I searched it? No, you wouldn't. Alright, well, just checking. I said, do you want to search it? He's like, well, I can't make you, but, I'm like, dude, this is going to be what it takes to get you to believe me, have that. He's like, are you sure? Like, yeah. So I open the door, like, before he even does anything, I open the door, and my cell phone's on my lap, so I grab it, I've got my wallet, I step out of the car, I start walking back. He's like, yeah, just go, sit on the boot. So I walk back there, he's like, hang on, what do you have in your pockets? Like, nothing? Like, well, what do you have in your hands? Like, wallet, cell phone, pen. Okay, well, so I set them down on the trunk of my car. This isn't something to help me, this is something I'm just doing out of pure goodness of my heart, because I'm Jacob Cullen, nice like that. And I go, pull out my pockets, show them that there's nothing there, because I just got everything out of them, because I was giving him stuff out of, well, it wasn't my pockets anyway, never mind. And his partner comes out, his partner and I start talking, and you're just like, yeah, tag light's out, but that's no big deal. And I said, actually, what's funny is I was just mentioning to a friend today, this morning, that my tag light was out, because we were fixing my headlight. And I walked with him up to the front of my car, and I showed him how the headlight had been broken out, and how we, jury-rigged it back in. And his partner is, like, looking under my seats and going through the center console and all this great stuff. And his partner, every time the partner looks out, the partner who's in my car, the big boy. So big boy, good old boy, right? That's what they're going to be. So every time big boy sees me, he's like, go back and sit on the hood of our car. Like, sorry. And the partner, is just ignoring him, so am I. And he finds, I don't remember what's the first thing he finds. He finds something random. And then he finds a bottle of my medication, which was fun. Like, so, what's this? Like, well, remember how you said I'm a little fidgety? Well, I'm a little fidgety. And Bart and I are talking, and, we're walking back up and just talking about life. And, he's talking about how, well, we can't be too careful. What are we supposed to think about a guy driving a car these back roads late at night? Like, that he's driving a car on these back roads late at night. Turns out while we were there, just waiting, like, 2 other cars passed us when I ended up going the way I was needing to go. Another 4 or 5 cars passed me. Like, it's not like this is a really barren, out-of-the-way place. So anyway, cop finishes front seat, moves into the back seat, and here's the best part of the story. You ready for this? You got a big old machete back here. I say, I do? I do. This is a great story. I can't wait for her to ask. Oh, gosh. It's like, so, why is the machete? And I just want to be like, so, you familiar with The Princess Bride? I said, yeah, like, well, last week, another youth group that I was in decided to have a Dread Pirate Roberts training camp. and I had the machete because swords are too expensive. And the cop just looked at me for a second, like, said, yeah, you know, that's what it's for. Like, well, can't argue with that. And that was the straw that broke the cop's icy exterior, is that I had a machete in my car, so I could be a better Dread Pirate Roberts. And he, you know, got out of my car, dusted himself off. He's like, well, you know, just be more careful, and be sure to dim your brights, and blah, 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 blah. And that was it. It was great. After, you know, they asked me who I was visiting, what their address were, what their names were, you know, kind of told them everything, because I'm a sucker for that. Don't ever give me a secret, because the cops are all going to know. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't care. And then it was best I drove over there just to be sure, you know, in case the cops would follow me or whatever. After I did the loop back out of the neighborhood and back around. And the cops did actually pass me while I was parking. I didn't go up. I didn't know if they were home, and it was, you know, it's like 9:20 by this time, and I didn't want to interrupt. So just drove off, and then I called them. Just like, hey, what's up? I got a great story for you. So there it is. Jacob Call's 4th DUI in Alabama. That was a long story. I hope you're all seated Indian style. Because I told you to be Indian style. Okay, good.